Hey there, this is for all you people who felt like you just did not have it within your conscience to vote for Kamala Harris in 2024. If you were a Trump voter, congratulations, you got everything you voted for. War with Iran? Absolutely. Economic nosedive? Absolutely. Higher gas prices? Of course. Neighbor getting kidnapped? You voted for it. You sold him out. Third-party voters? Congratulations. You're in good company with people like Bill Maher who voted for Ralph Nader. But among all of you, there's going to be a group of people who say things like, why won't the Democrats do something? And I want to just tell you, if you didn't vote for Kamala Harris in 2024, then you're the reason why Democrats can't do anything, because that's what 2024 was all about. Suggested reading of the day would be the United States Constitution, within which we find on Article 2, Section 2, the President shall be the Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states, and he shall have the power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. So whether or not you decided to stay home on Election Day, or you voted for third party, or you voted for Donald Trump, the only people who actually opposed actively everything that's happening right now are the people who voted for Kamala Harris. And while we've had many people online say, well, why are the Democrats still so spineless that they haven't just impeached Donald Trump? I refer to you again to Article 1, Section 3, which reads, the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments, and no person shall be convicted on an impeachment without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present, which means if you have 100 senators, 2/3 of 100 would be 67. 67 votes when the Democrats don't even hold the majority. And you can blame the Democrats and say, why hasn't Chuck Schumer impeached Donald Trump? But Chuck Schumer has already voted to impeach Donald Trump twice. As if you're going to say, why won't the Democrats use their power to do anything to stop this? Why are they so spineless? Well, you have to understand that's what the vote was all about. The Democrats hold a minority in the House of Representatives, which, mind you, was shut down by Mike Johnson for almost half of last year to prevent a Democrat who won election from even being seated, so they couldn't sign a petition just to release the files. The Democrats also hold a minority in the Senate, which is where, again, the legislation gets passed back and forth. The Democrats do not hold the executive office, which then has veto power over the Senate. So what are you even talking about? If you voted against them having that power, just own it. If you wanted Democrats to exercise the power of the veto over the Senate or any laws that they craft, you should have put Harris in the executive office. It takes 67 votes in the Senate to overrule a veto. If you wanted the Democrats to be able to craft legislation in the Senate, you should have given them the majority in the Senate. It would still require 60 votes to overcome a filibuster through cloture. But that way they could at least cast a vote and see who's on the record. If you wanted Democrats to be able to control the crafting of legislation, then should have given them the majority in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Even a simple majority, at least they can pass a budget. If you didn't vote to put them in the executive office or the House of Representatives or the Senate, why would you turn around and then say that they should exercise power that you voted against them having? That makes zero sense. And if you knew that Trump was going to be the nominee, we saw Project 2025. We saw his first administration. And if that didn't clue you in, then I'm sorry, probably nothing else will. And furthermore, beyond Trump, if you weren't willing to stand up against billionaires like Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos, like Mark Zuckerberg, or any of the other people who were standing directly behind Donald Trump at his inauguration, then maybe you're not the sort of radicals that you want to claim to be. If you're not willing to look at the destruction of the national discourse and the direct correlation between our economic status and our upward mobility and the removal of the fairness doctrine, the establishment and the rise of Fox News as the single largest cable news network in the country, the social media services and websites that we use on a daily basis, run by the same people who stood behind Donald Trump at the January 20th, 2025 inauguration, being inundated and run completely as a propaganda network for the Republican Party. Some of it by people, but some of it by just bot farms. If you're not willing to look at that direct correlation and say, no, this is a really bad situation and we actually need to do something to stop this, we need to, if we intend to claim that we're standing on the right side of history, do something to stop this now and not just be the lesson in failures that our children and grandchildren read about, just like you probably thought about the boomers before you decided to make the exact same mistakes that they did. well, then the time to vote is always every election. And I'm sorry if you don't have it within you, if you don't have it in your conscience, that's not something that you are concerned about at all. Then you're disqualified from being taken seriously about any form of progressive politics. And that's just it. But don't take my word for it. Take the words of our fine primary candidate from Illinois, Kat Abu-Ghazaleh.
Trump and Elon Musk are dismantling our country piece by piece. So I say it's time to drop the excuses and grow a fucking spine.